Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, almost Instagram. My name is Kristen Ryder, and I am going to be the hostess with the mostess for today's show of Who Are You? Who, da-na-na-na-na-na, who are you? Who, da-na-na-na-na-na. We are doing episode 27 of Who Are You? And I am with my cousin.
Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My amazing cousin, Amanda Clark, who has said yes after many months of me prodding and prodding. She is a tremendous being. We're both here and we love our family. And B, she has had quite a transformational story of healing that has brought her into the current realm of biofeedback, which I so graciously said heck yes to a couple of weeks ago. And we aren't even in the same state. So that is very telling. And as many of you know, I am here on this platform to help educate and uneducate people from the systems of certain things that are imploding on themselves in our world right now. And I want to teach people about the real magic that we all have access to. And I believe biofeedback is one of those that is coming to the front lines, So, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Clark.
Hi. Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate this opportunity to kind of educate people on what biofeedback is because, yes, unfortunately, with modern Western medicine, there's been a lot of therapies out there that have been withheld from us that actually do work. And biofeedback is one of those. And I came to it. I don't know if you want me to share my story first or.
I absolutely want, because my subscribers don't know you yet.
Okay.
So your history, because you've been in Western medicine practicing as 20 years.
Yeah.
In the NICU.
So I've been a nurse for 20 years, a nurse practitioner for 17 of those 20 years. I've worked in the neonatal intensive care unit. So God called me to obviously save his children. But I think God is now calling me to utilize the gifts that he's given me to help more people. So what kind of led me to biofeedback? I mean, I worked night shift for almost 19 of my 20 years in the medical field.
Oh, that's so challenging.
Yes. And then you add, I'm midlife, you add the hormones, you add the lack of sleep, and I felt like I was living in flight or fight all the time. Mm-hmm. Couldn't take deep breaths. Barely felt like I was functioning, tired all the time. I knew just something wasn't right in my system. And it was my central nervous system. It was my vagus nerve that was out of balance. It was my parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. So, of course, doctors just want to put you on a medication. And they started me on an antidepressant because they assumed I was depressed. And every time I took it, I felt like I was nauseous. Like I'm like, my body, this is not what I need. Something else is going on. So someone recommended a biofeedback specialist to me. Mm-hmm. And I went. And the stuff that she was able to know about me without knowing me and even knowing why I was coming to her, I was sold. And I've been wanting to get into a more like holistic realm for many, many years. And I came home after that session and I said, Brandon, I'm becoming a biofeedback specialist.
Wait, who's Brandon? They don't know who Brandon is.
Brandon, my husband. So I came home and I said, honey, this is what I'm doing. I am going to help people find out the root cause of why they don't feel right. And I just want to help people. I mean, that's why I became a nurse. And after that, I bought my device and I got my education done and I became certified in September of last year. And I've been helping people since. So it's been amazing.
And I mean, I'm like, all right, that's a wrap, everybody. Amanda's amazing. Book her. So, I mean, I'm fascinated with your, like, was it that fast of a transition? Like, you started noticing that your body wasn't well because of, I mean, how we treat our medical professionals in hospitals, which I call the Western illness system,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. And I'm great. I've had
Recovering nurse practitioner.
a what?
A recovering nurse practitioner.
You're like a recovering Catholic. Listen, everyone on the planet is recovering from something, whether they know it or not. But like, I'm fascinated because you've shared some of the stories of what you have witnessed in the NICU unit. And I mean, like, you're pretty badass. Can you share with us one of the stories that has stuck with you most over the past 20 years?
Oh, goodness gracious. Probably being called to the ER with a gunshot victim of a mom who was not alive, and they handed me a baby that was 27 weeks on a metal tray, and I had to put a breathing tube in the baby.
That is intense.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like being on a battlefield. Wow. And I mean, the cortisol levels and the stress that you have to be on, and you don't know when you have to be on. So
Absolutely.
I would imagine that sends all of your levels, your hormones, your adrenaline, your adrenals, your nerves, everything into shock constantly. So I just want to say thank you for all of that work and service, and putting yourself in those situations to deal with own traumas to be of service to others. I mean,
Well, and I think that was what, when I, once I started learning biofeedback and I started realizing I'm handling like everything so much better because I'm in balance. We can only do the best that we can when our systems are in balance. And unfortunately, modern medicine is so compartmentalized. You go to
it's
you
not.
go
It's
see this person and that person
yeah.
puts you on this. Nobody like scans the body from head to toe. And with biofeedback, you are actually, it's like a virus scan for a computer. That's probably the most lay statement I can make, is it is actually reading the energy in every cell of your body, and it's giving me information to try to figure out, where do I need to work with you? And most of it's emotional. I mean, I'm not going
Oh,
to lie.
yeah.
A lot of it is within your spine and your vagus nerve, and it's emotional. And once we can release some trapped trauma, your body functions so much better. We are not able, God did not create us to be able to handle all the toxins in our environment, right? Like whether it's chemtrails, whether it's our skin is our biggest organ. So we put so many chemicals on our skin, and we have to have a way to release all of that. And once I can get into, when I do a session on somebody, I can see where they have issues and I can balance them. I can get their cellular, I can recover their cellular like health. I can work on a lot of different things. So it's been pretty amazing.
So, and who was it a person that was also working in the hospital that referred you to biofeedback?
No, it was a friend of mine that her daughter was having some issues, and then she took her there to this person.
So, and were those issues able to be deciphered or pinpointed using Western medicine?
No.
That's why she went to biofeedback.
And honestly, with most of my clients, they're just tired of not getting answers.
Because everything's so compartmentalized when
Right. They're not looking
they're
at the body as a whole.
Yeah, we are one organism, although we're multidimensional in the work that I do. We are multidimensional beings. That's what this whole exciting party on the planet and in the world is about right now, trying to keep us from remembering that. And how long were you experiencing? Because I mean, with the astrology right now and everything that's going on in the world right now, mental illness is
Yeah.
really up for review right now, and that was something that you were battling with
Oh,
for.
absolutely. I
And
mean, I will be honest, I honestly had suicidal ideations.
I've heard of a lot of people choosing to take their lives in the last few months, and that is something that's really relevant in society right now, and I don't wanna sugarcoat how hard and just heartbreaking that is for people to experience, and have.
Especially if you've lost loved ones that it was not purposeful.
It was not purposeful. That's right. We both lost my brother and his family in a carbon
Mhm.
monoxide accident in 2019. Is that what triggered the.
I think it was part of it. And then it led into we lost my brother-in-law unexpectedly, like a month and a half later after Gabe and the family died. And then COVID hit. And like I said, um, I did not align with the narrative at the hospital. So I became kind of introverted at work, which I'm not an introvert.
No, you are
And
definitely not an introvert.
now I'm
You can't
um,
be a writer and be an introvert.
no.
No way. No way.
So I started kind of because I got turned in. I got turned in by even community members because I was anti-mask.
Uh,
And I spoke
you
at school boards and, so I had people that knew I was a nurse and that I got called into the manager's office. I got dings on, I just dealt with a lot at the hospital. So that added to everything after Gabe and everybody died. And it was just like a perfect storm, but the perfect storm led me to here. And I don't think I would be here those if those situations hadn't happened. So God has a plan, you know?
Yeah. Okay, and thank you for sharing. I understand, as you know, I do. And when, like, how long were you noticing? Because I'm really wanting to focus on the mental illness part
Mhm.
here. Um, how long had you been experiencing it? And I know when you had enough, but like, when would you say to long enough is enough? Like I say 2 days.
Yeah. No, oh, months. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe even years.
Yeah, and I think, especially, I mean, I'm 50 today. I'm
I
50.
know. Happy
Yep.
birthday.
Thank you. But
I'll be 49 in June.
oh my God, I can't believe it. We look amazing.
I know.
Um,
Know that I'm that flexible, Kristen.
well, that's the other element to the mental illness. We start going through menopause.
And
And it varies from, some women have it at 47, some don't experience it until 52. But then you add that on to trauma and you're literally on the battlefield and like all of those things. It's the perfect recipe for, oh my God, have I lost my mind? And
yeah.
it's so, I mean, I follow like Christiane Northrup
Yep.
and, people that are very holistically based. I love my yam cream and stuff, but you add the hormonal aspect onto a vagus nerve and a nervous system that's been experiencing all that trauma. And then it's just like, oh my gosh. And then you don't have time to be in your bedroom for a whole day crying.
Right.
You have to work. You have to be there for your family. You've
Yep.
got to fight the other battles that you're going on. And it's so out of balance. And then you go to a doctor because you're like, fine, I'll just go to the doctor. And they ask you to take a pill that's actually going to make you worse
Right.
because it doesn't help you.
So it just they treat symptoms.
Right.
They don't treat the cause of your symptoms. And honestly, the majority of our ailments that come out physically start emotionally. And
Exactly.
your brain and your gut like, and your vagus nerve that is the longest nerve in your system. I
And
mean, that, and yes, your brain, your gut, your heart,
yeah.
and all of them work in syncope. Like, you all have to be in balance in order for everything to work in balance. And a lot of that, and again, I think that's what's so amazing about biofeedback is I can tap into, and the biofeed, now granted, there are a lot of new devices and stuff coming out, but my biofeedback device is quantum, meaning that, and I am no quantum physicist, but like it works within the realm of the universe. So it knows where you're at. You are the only person that is that footprint in this universe, which is why I was able to work on you virtually.
I know, and we're totally going to talk about that. So, what in your first session after trying to make yourself better through normal or typical Western ways in the medical field? I'm doing my best.
You're good.
Uh, what was your before and after? Because did you do your biofeedback in person with a local
Yes,
practitioner?
I did. Yep.
Okay.
And then I came home and told Brandon, this is what I'm doing. And I bought my device and I got it almost, it's been a little over a year ago.
Wow. Well, happy birthday to you on biofeedback. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what's the process of getting trained in biofeedback?
So it's a lot of self-learning, which when you come from the model of college and sitting in the classroom, and it was definitely it was somewhat challenging because I just have manuals. You have to have your device, and then you just work on your device and do the manual. And then I had to do over 300 clinical hours. And then I just took a Zoom call with somebody. Her name is Carol. She's been doing biofeedback. She's a nurse by trade as well. She's been doing biofeedback in Montana for over 20 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so biofeedback's been around. It's just, it depends on where you're at and what you're exposed to. So she just had to like verify that I knew what I was doing. And I did a live Zoom call with her to get my certification.
Okay, excellent. And, I think certifications, I've done a few certifications of my own over the years. I mean, I went to college for 2 semesters. I was like, I'm going to New York City. I was like, I'm not doing this baloney. But I'm not a normal human being of any sorts. And I'm a system buster myself. So I didn't know biofeedback's been around for that
Yeah,
long.
so I will show you. So it's the so that's my certification. I need to get it framed. So Board
Congratulations.
of Advanced Natural Health Sciences. So
Okay.
we are not we do not, like when I do a session on somebody, it does not go through insurance. We don't want to be ran by the government.
Yeah.
So,
Or
but
any corporation.
yep.
Except your own. Except your own. Fantastic. Okay, so and you've done okay, so you were sold. You're like, "That's it. I'm gonna do
Yep.
this." It's been a year. Here you are. You've done your 300 hours, and now okay, so you did one on me because 'cause you're like, "Okay," 'cause I've been asking her to interview for what, 6 months?
Long time.
Well, I'm it's all good. It's all good. Listen.
I needed some testimonies of people to make me feel a little bit, not that I shouldn't be confident because I should be, but like
It's
yeah,
practice. It's the same with anything. The
yeah,
more people you work with, the more feedback. I mean, it's biofeedback. So the more
yeah,
feedback you receive that's of organic nature. I mean, I think it's phenomenal. And I've never done, I mean, you know me. I've
yeah,
been woo-woo for years. You came out of the closet to me, what was it, last summer?
yeah.
Was it last summer? Okay, welcome. This whole show is because I came out of my closet to interview people to come out of their closets, and we're not even gay. So you got to throw the jokes in there. That's one of my gifts for humanity.
I
But
have a few.
huh?
I said I have a few.
Oh, I know you do. Oh my gosh. So when you did this session, because I did voice bioanalysis. I'm
Mhm.
a sound healer and I use my voice for it's all about vibration for me. It's all about quantum, multidimensionality, and the work that I do as well, because everything in our entire universe is
Yep,
frequency and
yep.
vibration. So I love that this is quantum. Cue the quantum financial system. Let's glow. But it was fascinating because I had never been blessed to experience biofeedback, and it's funny because I felt something weird after one of my shows, and we had scheduled, and I was like, "Wait, I am not feeling her in my field at all." And then I call you and you're like, "Oh my
I
god,
totally forgot.
it was
I
a
had
whole
totally forgotten.
game."
Yep, totally.
Everybody's so busy, so busy. But anyway, we gratefully got to do it a couple weeks ago. And it was so amazing. And the whole process was I just had to lay down on my couch and get snuggled in and I turn my internet and phone on airplane. I turn everything off at night because my dream realm is important to me. But I was fascinated because I was so exhausted, and I have not had a nap like that as soon as we started, and and I'm super psychic sensitive, whoa, but I was like, "Holy shift," and I was like, I could feel you working on the hemispheres of my brain,
Mhm.
and then it was like my cat always lays on me for extra healing, our furry animals. And then I just felt you starting to work down my whole body. And then I completely left my body, but I was still present with it, feeling the quantum frequencies
Mhm.
of the actual feedback. And I was like, did I eat anything special before this nap? I woke up because it was so restoring, and I could feel
Mhm.
the immediate release of my nervous system. And then I was like, "Oh, I was like a little bit in again." And then I was like, "Oh, working on this area. Oh, yep, a little bit of trauma there. What woman hasn't?" Yep. And then I forget if you worked on my knee. So you finished, and it was funny because I was like, "Okay, I'm done. I feel like I'm done." And then I didn't turn my phone on, but I was like, "I'll look at my phone just to see." And all of a sudden it's ringing and it's you. And I was like, "Oh, we're done. All right, there's my confirmation. She's ready to go over the session with me." And the craziest thing that I was you had picked up on a sty that I had had
Mhm.
in my eye that had started almost, gosh, my son's 9 now. When you lose sleep and all that, oh god, styes can happen, and I've had one that coagulated, and it's, like, gone, it doesn't bother me
Is
anymore.
it gone now?
I mean, it coagulated, I put colloidal silver in my eyeballs, and I put
Well, you
cas
didn't tell me that. I
yeah,
was gonna ask.
I looked, and it's like, I can't feel the spot where it had coagulated under my lid, because there was a piece that I couldn't get out, and that was, like, 3 years ago, and so it's been so much better ever since.
Oh my
That was
god,
the
amazing.
first thing that you had picked up on, and then the other thing was something I didn't even know how it happened to me, because I woke up from a dream. This is how my dream realm is, everybody, okay? And our grandpa was national bowling champion. All right, I'm bowling with my son in a dream. This ball was really big, y'all. It was like a 12-pounder. Okay, I'm 5'5". I think I've grown. It's super strong. We work out. But I was bowling with this really heavy ball in the dream, and I, woke up and I was like, "Oh my god, I couldn't lift my arm." And it was the craziest thing because it was sleep, right? And so right, that's where I'm going with this. Your
Yes,
feedback you were like, "Did you
a
recently
shoulder
look?"
dislocation. I remember
I
that.
was like, okay, that didn't even happen in my real life. Like, I woke up from a dream with that being, and my arm was a mess. I had a dear friend do Reiki. I couldn't work out for a week and a half. I'm glad I'm not in jail for murder. Um, God, and I was just like, but it realigned so many other things in my body, and that realignment, like, officially realigned, no doubt to get me ready for 50, sister, with your biofeedback session. So isn't that insane?
I mean, there's so much that I can tell people. I mean, I can show you a picture of, so, I mean, I don't know if it'll come. So this was Brandon's elbow. He had bursitis. That was Brandon's elbow before a session and after a session.
Wow.
That's
Look
his elbow.
at that.
So it's kind of hard to see, but
That's amazing.
but you know, I mean, I think, and a lot of it's intuition, you know, a lot of it is me being able to read what I'm seeing, because there's a ton of information that I'm getting, and it takes a lot out of me to try to put the whole picture together, to try to navigate where do I need to go, what is this person really dealing with. But with you, like, I definitely worked on your spine. I did some vagus nerve, some parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system balancing, which is in our spine. I mean,
Yeah.
when your spine is out of a line, it, like, all of your nerves come out of your spinal cord.
Yeah, it's like a tree. It's a tree, and it's the human body is it's built to heal. Our human
Which is why this is my
I love it.
emblem.
Empowered
Empowered biohealing.
biohealing. I wrote it down in the description, right? Amazing, amazing. And you know, that's something that I really love about this biofeedback. It says, is your machine like there? Can we look at the machine?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm curious
yeah.
what it looks like.
Okay, so I'm actually running something on myself. I'm reducing my stress and my nerves right now.
Because being on camera is stressful.
Yes.
Oh, it's on computer. Wow.
So it's on the computer, so I can show you. So what I hook up, like, so this would be what would go over my head. So it's like electrodes that go over your head, and then electrodes that go around your wrists and your ankles. But let me see if I can go back to.
I mean, you don't have to show us your session. I just wasn't sure.
But look, you can do, like, I do auras. So that's my aura right now.
Ooh, so bright and sparkly.
Yeah. So, and it does, you know, I mean, we go through meridians and chakras, and, you know, it goes through a lot of, like, Chinese, you know, acupuncture points. And honestly, when I do the acupuncture part of my session on people, it is almost 100% on point with what their ailments are.
Yeah.
And it blows people's minds that I can find things that because I don't ask people for a health history. I want to see what I can find out and then ask them questions. Honestly, most of my clients fall asleep during the session, and then I take screenshots as I'm working. I look over because I have, like, a nice recliner that my clients sit in.
Amazing.
Usually fall asleep.
Yeah.
But I take screenshots and let them know, and we have a discussion afterwards.
That's what I tell my clients when they're on my table in a sound healing session. They're like, "Oh no, I fell asleep." I'm like, "That's the biggest."
That's awesome. Yep.
And everyone is so tired when, you know, that's the first sign of healing, you know, especially with all of these new environmental positive aspects we're getting with the Schumann resonance spiking, solar flares. We've got plasma that science is finally acknowledging is in this ascension process. And sleep is such an important part to help us get our thinking, God bless our thinking, out of the way so that we can integrate these higher frequencies. So is it emitting? It's emitting frequencies.
So yes, absolutely. So I'm sending, like, low frequency healing to every cell in your body. So my device, and there's, you know, again, because a lot of people are kind of jumping on the bandwagon of holistic medicine, you're going to see other biofeedback devices. Ours is quantum, which 90% of our brain is subconscious, which is why I can tap into things that you don't even know you're thinking about, or things that you don't even know are a problem with your body. I can do Rife. It has bioresonance. It has Schumann waves, scalar waves.
Explain what Rife is for everybody.
So Rife,
people might not know.
So Rife is starting to become well known in the cancer field. It's specific frequencies that help kind of like shrink I mean, all of us have cancer cells in our body. It's whether or not our body is an inflammatory response or whether our body is in balance. So we need our body to be balanced in order for those cells to not go rogue, I guess is probably the best way to describe it. But a Rife machine, you input specific frequencies in order for it to target the cells that are going rogue.
Great. Thank you. Amazing. Well done. And then is Carol a quantum practitioner? The first
Yes.
person that okay. Okay. Amazing. And if you know, I don't know, what's the difference between the quantum and regular biofeedback?
So the quantum works with your subconscious.
Okay. That's the only difference. I mean,
I think, okay. So there's some handheld biofeedback devices that you can get some frequency, you can get some healing with that, but you're not going to get answers. You're not going to have a trained person that is looking at the information that's coming back from the biofeedback to give you, like for me, with my journey, I found out that I was gluten sensitive. I did not know that. But my biofeedback,
just Monsanto sensitive.
Well, it's glyphosate sensitive.
Yeah, glyphosate. Thank you. Yeah.
I know we could talk for hours on all that.
Yeah, I know.
But so once I figured that out and tried to avoid a little bit of that, it helped me tremendously. But the difference between quantum and our device and some of the other ones that are out is the information. And I have 4 other, like, it's called piggybacks, but I have 4 other programs I run in addition. It takes an hour and a half for a session. So it's definitely not, you're not coming in for 20 minutes because it takes a while for me to clean out your liver, your large intestine. Like I have to get all your organs ready to accept.
Wow, so it's like a whole diagnostic of like flushing, detoxing the system, and then implementing the positive frequency and filling the organs from there. Got it. Well, I had a better report than I thought I'd get. I was like, all right.
I see some things that I don't tell people all the time.
Oh, don't tell them that. So, okay, amazing. And then when because I was like, I'm so excited to introduce you to people, to like get you clients, because there's so many people that I think are just really frustrated with not getting answers and not getting better. And it's like, well, then, I mean, that's the insanity of the loop. If you are still getting sick, you're still not getting answers, and you're still getting sick and you're still not getting answers, you are in the loop of insanity. I mean, if you're not doing anything.
Insanity is doing the same thing over again.
Over and over again. Right. So I'm like, well, go see Amanda for a biofeedback and your life will be healed. No, all your sessions, an hour and a half, 90 minutes?
Yeah, they are. And I usually spend more time depending especially, so the first session, I mean, it depends on the ailments that you are dealing with. The first session is kind of let's just clean things up. Let me see what I can see. Let's pinpoint a couple of your major issues. Further sessions, I can kind of dig a little bit deeper because it takes less time for me to open up those organs to receive the frequency. So, each session kind of builds upon one another. And I will tell you, like, some of my testimonies, I worked with men, no offense to the men in the room, but like women are more intuitive. Women tend to be a little more open to, this type of healing. But I worked with my first military man who's been dealing with some PTSD and some pain. And he texted me and he said, I haven't walked this pain free in a long time. Can I pass your information off to my military friends?
That is so awesome.
And he fell asleep during it too. And I was actually kind of afraid to wake him up because I was like, you're not anymore.
Oh my gosh, we've got my mom, we've got John in the back, we've got our family coming in to say hi. We love you, family. Hi, thank you for the birthday wishes. So, and if anybody has any questions for Amanda,
Yeah.
please type question in the chat and what your question is, so I can ask Amanda some of those questions. I'm going to be looking over the chat. Amanda, can you share some of the other amazing things that your clients have witnessed in their journeys?
So I've worked with a 16-year-old teenager girl that has been dealing with, well, her gastroenterologist said she has abdominal migraines, and I think it's hormonal, which I've worked on with her. But she stopped throwing up, stopped having all of the abdominal pain after I worked with her. The military person was probably one of my like one that I'm gonna like hold on to for a big time. Brandon's elbow. I've worked with Ava. There are some math programs like you can actually help people learn. So Ava doesn't like math. So she had a math test and I said, honey, I'm going to do a session on you. And she called me and she said, Mom, I cooked my math exam. I'm like, what does that mean? Teenage terminology. She's like, I aced it. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. So,
I'm like, yeah, the power of frequency and the power of our thoughts, the power of our love. I've been working on frequency since Atlantis, y'all, if not before then. And frequency is so powerful. What would you recommend if somebody has some gut issues? Like,
well, and I will tell you, everybody's different. So with my advice, I can actually test supplements to see if that's what your body resonates with. And there's things that one person resonates with and another person doesn't.
because we're all
So
unique.
there's not one, and we really need to get away from supplementation, but unfortunately our food is so depleted of nutrients that we still need some supplements, but the best is to get your nutrition from food, wholesome food. But the fact that I can actually look at what your supplements are and see if that's something that your body needs and doesn't need is a pretty amazing part of my device, because I've been able to tailor, like my one client who I'm seeing again tomorrow, I think for our 4th session. And she's like, I need to come and see you. Like, I know we're scheduled next week, but can you get me in this week? And I said, absolutely. And she said she feels like, she's like, I'm sleeping better. I'm not, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I'm able to go back to sleep, which she never historically had been able to do. And I recommended one supplementation to her and she's like, oh, that has worked amazing for me. So.
Right. I know, that's so interesting. You bring up the supplements because I used to be a supplement queen.
Mhm.
And until honestly, when the family died, I was like, okay, like just certain rhythms in life shifted. I was coming up to Ohio to see y'all. And then Schmovid happened. And then I was like, okay, I'm not going to waste my money on this and da, 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 da. I started losing, I lost like 30 pounds.
And there's a lot of supplements that you have to be really careful because there's a ton of artificial stuff. There's things that our microbiome don't break down with.
Right.
So, everyone just wants to everyone gets on the newest bandwagon of I need anti-aging this, I need this, I need that, but it may not be what your body can digest or what your body needs. And that's what's awesome when I can do a biofeedback session and I say, send me the stuff that you're taking. If I have 10 minutes at the end of our session, I will go through everything that you're taking and let you know whether it resonates with your body or not. And if it's something that's actually harming you or something that your body needs. And I can save people a ton of money on stuff they're taking that they may not even need or something their body doesn't even want.
Yeah. I mean, Amanda, I'm like, okay, I'm at the point of teaching people about our consciousness, able to shift the frequency of our water with our intention and kissing it and loving it. It's like Dr. Emoto's work, Messages in the Water, Dr. Veda Austin. We've got with the astrology. I coach it all. I'm on another quantum. So this is my next question. Do
Okay.
you, or well, I don't know if you've noticed, or if you've had a client that was not in person and then you got to see them in person, or vice versa.
Um, I would, okay. So my first virtual, who this person lives in Oregon, I actually met her at a biofeedback conference. She had bought her own device and she reached out to me and she said, I don't understand how to use this. Will you do a session on me?
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, and she was in Oregon and I did 4 sessions on her and she had a lot of positive results from that. She still like reaches out to me. She's like, "Will you do a session on me? Like, I still don't understand this because it is more complicated because coming from the background that I do with the pathophysiology that I understand, I thought this was like a shoe-in. I was like, oh, I got this in the handbag. No, it's much more complicated than most people can understand.
Well, and that's another question I have. I'm like, what? Oh, God, do you just want to bring your biofeedback into work with you now?
I do. Oh, I can feel, honestly, I can feel when I walk into work at the hospital, I can feel the radiation in my
Oh,
bones.
I
And I mean, now that my system, my energy system is so open, it is astronomical how different I feel when I'm at work. Like I literally can feel it in my bones, the radiation.
it's so dumbass fucking backwards if you ask me. Oh, you've got something wrong with your breast? Let us put you in this huge microwave
Yep. Oh,
and
I haven't used the
stab it.
microwave in over a year.
Oh,
Probably
yeah.
almost 2
I
years.
don't go anymore. I don't do birth control.
Yep.
I don't do any. I'm like, this is all so criminal of how we just we're all misled. And then, we have all these towers and blah, blah, blah. Like Tesla and all this. I've known about this stuff for you and
So
I. Oh God,
biofeedback, actually, Tesla was the main person who developed biofeedback. It was his research.
yeah, because free energy is
Hmm.
ours to claim now. And it's like, it's interesting about this.
Hmm.
The frequencies that this thing puts out is just like, wow. So it's fascinating because in my work, I'm not a fan of this or this. I'm
No.
grateful for the technology. I love to put you on a massage table and I use my voice and my sound healing bowls and tuning forks and rattles. And I have a gong and other rattles. But that's the frequency. And I've known about Tesla's work forever. And that has been hidden from us because
Hmm.
our entire field. Now, do they teach you this in
So, yeah, I
the
mean, again,
algorithm
a
field?
lot. Well, so again, I can look at the auras, I can do chakras, I can go through the meridians, I can do all of that. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm reading a book called Vibrational Medicine. I'm reading a book called Energy Medicine. I'm reading a
By
book called,
Gerber?
huh?
Is that by Gerber?
Yes.
I have the same book in I've had
Yep.
it for 20 years.
Vibrational Medicine.
Welcome. Welcome.
And
Welcome.
then energy medicine. And then one of my favorite ones that I'm reading right now is called Blessed with Energy. And because there's a lot of people that, grew up in the church that think that some of this stuff it's not tangible for them. So they don't understand it. And they think that maybe it's a little too woo woo. And this book talks about scripture. It talks about like how God used energy and how we're all energetic beings and
Yeah,
how much of our body needs to be balanced through frequency.
we
So
are
it's an easy read.
nice. We are.
Unlike vibrational medicine, that is not an easy read.
No, it's not easy.
That is not an easy read.
He gets super clinical. It's so
Yeah.
fascinating. So I was interested if they taught you how the toroidal field is like the toroidal field of our planet, Gaia.
Well, they talk about different, yes, depending
Chakra.
on how you move things around your body, whether it creates energy to pull within or energy to pull out.
Yeah, because when we are imbalanced, we become magnetic. Not
Hmm.
magneto, magnetic.
Well, and there's magnets that actually are healing too, you know?
That's true. That is true because it can shift, and the Earth's magnetics are shifting right now. We are in such an amazing and auspicious time despite what we're being shown on the boob tube or the lie
Well,
machines.
and it's all the toxins, we've got toxins again from chemtrails in the sky, toxins you're putting on your skin, toxins like the 5G. I mean, cell phones, everything that we're exposed to, and our bodies have a hard time, kind of like detoxifying from those.
It's a lot. That's always telling people to ground. Don't
Oh,
just buy
absolutely.
don't buy anything from Walgreens or CVS. Just don't go it. Just don't go that.
And don't go buy a label because, like, sometimes the labels look like they're all natural, and then you look at the ingredients and you're like, I can't even pronounce half of
Yeah,
these
if
words.
you can't pronounce it and if there's more than 4 or 5, then it doesn't get purchased, and we can all come together and flip this whole thing a lot faster by sharing just those simple techniques. Because I know I'm excited for what's coming, even though
Mhm, me
it's
too.
really stressful right now. Um,
And
okay,
what
go
I
ahead.
tell my clients is it's a small change. Like, I'm not going to give you a laundry list of things to go, because I do try to educate people as well during a session if they're awake. But I try to tell them, okay, it's like when you get your fruit, put it in a mason jar, a glass mason jar. It'll last for 2 weeks.
2
Get it
weeks,
out of that plastic.
wash it.
Just so I tell them it's little changes that you can make one at a time to make your life a little bit healthier. It's not, you can't just go rogue because you will lose your mind, because you don't want to know half the stuff you're eating. You don't want to know half the stuff you're exposed to. But if you can just make small changes, it will impact a lot.
Yeah. Oh, we have a question from Aunt Carol.
Oh.
How does Reiki compare or complement?
So actually, one of my clients was a Reiki professional in California. She lives here now. And I've not been trained in Reiki, but I actually did have an experience with a friend the other day. Well, it was actually a couple months ago, where her back was hurting. And I just went like this with her. I used my intention and she stood up straight. She's like, I don't know what just happened, but whatever you did. So I think all of us have the energy in our systems and our intention. If we utilize it, if we have God's gifts, I think we all can have those powers.
Agree.
Reiki is amazing.
Yeah.
I have not been to a Reiki professional myself.
I know somebody who's amazing that would love to remote trade with you. We'll talk
Oh yes. Oh,
after.
I
If you're are you
oh
open to
absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
awesome. And then if people want to book a session with you, it doesn't matter where in the world they are. I'm going to put your email up here and I want to put it in the chat for folks. So if they want to contact you to book a session now, and you're still, I almost said nursing. How's your baby? Um,
Yeah, I'm still working at the hospital 2 days a week, but I dropped my hours down from 3 to 2 so that I could build this up. So I have clients. I have a client tomorrow and 2 clients on Friday on my days off. So building
amazing.
it up organically.
That's, it's our mom and pop background. um, that we grew up with was a small business,
Mhm.
local business. I want to put this in the chat. And then what are you, because you're building a website, like you're just
Yep.
starting this all out. And I love the OG way, sister. Word of mouth is
Hmm.
so great. And I know so many people went that way, especially after COVID, because everyone was so like, what just happened to all of us? Um, So I love that you're building it organically and you're going to have a website and another way for people, but this is your email, which is the
Yeah,
best
that's
way.
my personal email. I do have an email through my LLC, but I haven't like set that up yet. So I can get that out to everybody as well, but please feel free. And they can call me too. I mean, you can give them my phone number, text me, call me.
Start with your email because this is a public platform.
Oh, okay.
Well, I want people to find you because
Yeah.
this is so exciting for you. And I'm so proud of you for like, you know, stepping out of the norm, stepping out of your comfort zone and trying something new that you have no idea what it's about, but you knew everything else wasn't helping or wasn't getting you the results that you
Right.
really knew you needed and deserved. So I'm so grateful that you said yes to your own well-being and trying something so out of the box that it's like, oh, this is a whole new reality of shift that works. Yeah.
No, I mean, I am my own testimony. And someday I hope my story, like again, with my mental health struggles. And again, I mean, I think it did start kind of with the loss of our family, and then it just kind of everything just built upon one another.
Yeah. That was
And
intense for all of us.
oh, I know. Yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
mean,
I know.
my basement was built by Gabe, so he's in my house every day. But I think people are afraid to talk about their mental health struggles. It's kind of taboo. I think, and social media has destroyed. It's like, oh, everybody looks picture perfect and everybody's life is perfect. No, that's not the truth. That's not reality. And I think we need to get back to having honest conversations with each other. And I know people at work knew I was struggling and nobody reached out. And I mean, I've worked with some of these people for almost, 20 years. And once they found out how bad it was, then people were like, oh, well, we noticed this. And now you're kind of getting back to the old Amanda. And I'm like, and it's just like, you just realize that people are afraid to be honest.
Well, and our situation was very different. We lost a whole family in an accident, and I think people just don't have the communication and tools and know. Like I lost friends after that too because they just didn't know what to
Mhm.
say to me or how to be with me. And you know me, I wear my heart on my sleeve, as do you.
Mhm.
So it's just like, okay, well, you just have to say hi and I'll say where I'm at for the day. But I think it's such a shock. People don't understand, what to do. And then, I mean, grieving is a superpower. And there's so much changing in our world in this now. And it's just going to keep changing more and more as we're becoming more and more what we're truly meant to
Meant
be,
to be.
as we're walking away from everything we are no longer meant to be. That's the simplest way I can put it. And grief and grieving and feeling the feelings is a superpower in this now. That everyone really needs to get honest with themselves in feeling the feelings, because a lot of the feelings are stored in the subconscious. And I love that biofeedback goes into the
Mhm.
subconscious. The quantum biofeedback that you practice starts with the root of it, because
Yep.
we're this is like 5% of the equation, if
Yep.
that. It's like it's our feelings, our spirit, our soul, our thoughts, this whole world, even Gaia, she's shifting. It's like we are more frequency than matter.
Mhm.
And
Oh, absolutely.
let's glow. God, I've been having this. Oh, I have somebody who's inquiring if you can fix bad stomach issues.
I mean, I'm not going to claim I can fix anything, but I can try to at least help your body be in balance. And yes, I can identify the source of what might be causing your stomach issues,
Yeah,
and
she's asking
not
about.
even your stomach. Like it could be your liver, it could be your gallbladder, it could be just your vagus nerve being out of balance and your nervous system being out of balance. So I can identify some things to help guide you. Um, by my practice, I'm not allowed to diagnose, but I can identify sources of issues.
Well, other people can diagnose for
And
you
it's
now.
disease, yes, not disease. It's a dis-ease.
Yeah, stomach dis-ease. Yes.
Yeah,
Can you see the chat so you can see
I
the
can. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
seeing. Yeah,
good, good, good. Some people can and some people can't. So, yeah, and so many food allergies. I mean, I mean, there in the chat, I posted Amanda's email. If you want to reach out to her for a session, you can totally do that. I mean, she saw something I did to myself in a dream through this program. I was bowling in my dream in the bio quantum feedback thing, saw that I dislocated my shoulder. What? And
yeah,
you had that daughter, a young gal who's 16, who's been having stomach issues,
yeah,
and she's come to you 4 times now, and she's no longer throwing up, and
yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Now, granted, and I think, again, it's so difficult for us to avoid everything that causes dis-ease in our body. But if you can make small modifications, and when I'm dealing with the teenage clients that I have, they're not the ones going to the grocery store. They're not the ones buying their food. Their parents are taking them to McDonald's, and I'm just like, okay, well, where can I start? you
Don't
know?
go to McDonald's ever again.
Yeah.
Even my
Mhm.
son knows that, and he's 9. I've never taken him to McDonald's, and I never will, because it's not food.
No, and we have to, again, it's very disheartening to realize, like, all right, so you're gluten free here. You can go to Italy and have all the pasta you
Oh my
want.
god, because 'cause they've never
They
genetically
don't
modified
put
their food,
stuff in
they've never
there.
messed with the seeds. I love Italy. Oh, I now I want aglio
I'm
olio.
not in Italy, but I'm gonna I told Brandon, I was my husband, I was like, I'm gonna eat all the pasta I can when I go.
Oh, yes, it's so good. Have you ever been?
No.
Oh, I toured there. Oh god, it's so good. So good.
But and I think that the more that people realize the stuff that is put in our food, between the dyes and all the artificial, I mean, they put soy lecithin in yogurt for a thickener. I mean, they put soy, and soy is an estrogen compound. Therefore, it affects your hormonal balance, men and women. I mean, men shouldn't have soy either, but it's in almost everything if you look at
Yeah, and for
the ingredients.
years, yeah, and before having my son, I thought, oh, all these veggie patties and this and that. It's like those things are full of awfulness.
Yep.
Because I
Go back
haven't
to
eaten
real
raisins.
butter, real beef.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten. I'm RH negative. I'm A negative, so like I haven't needed meat, but I do like fish now. I do like fish, but I haven't eaten a steak in a long
And we're
time.
all different, and that's why I say, like, I'm not going to put anyone into a compartment, because that's what's wrong with modern medicine, is
Sure.
they compartmentalize everything. So I'm looking at your body, what your body emotionally and energetically and physically is giving me. So I can look at everything from head to toe and help pinpoint where you need to make modifications in your lifestyle.
That's amazing. I love that. Oh my gosh. Well, so many people have so many questions that are popping up, but they're, saying they're everybody in my chat, y'all, I love you. Thank you so much for the birthday
Thank
wishes. Oh
you.
my gosh. Amanda, I've put your email
Please, everybody reach out. I will
in
give you a phone
times.
call consultation. We can talk more in depth about kind of what biofeedback is. I know we kind of got off some tangents, so I'm
Because it's all
absolutely.
part of it. It's all part of the human experience in this now. And that's one of the beautiful gifts of biofeedback.
Mhm,
It's like Prego, it all goes in there because unlike surgeries and this or whatever, it doesn't compartmentalize and separate any part of our consciousness. It's about bringing it together.
mhm.
Yeah.
It's about balance. It's about balancing your mind, your body, and your spirit, and making everything work in concert with one another, which is how our bodies are meant to physically, we're meant to manifest health through balance, cellular balance, balance between your brain, your gut, your vagus nerve, all of your nerves in your system.
Yeah. So, do you have any last parting words? We're coming up to almost an hour here. You feel pretty complete?
I do. I appreciate this opportunity to kind of, because I do believe biofeedback is going to become, I kind of tell some of my clients it's like an oil change, like
Yeah.
unless something's really out of balance and you need to come see me right now because you have a physical ailment that like needs attention, like my husband's elbow the other day. Otherwise, it's just keeping your body to be able to handle the stressors in your life.
So that
And
it can detox all
that
the things thrown at
so that
us.
you can handle everything coming in a more balanced manner. Which again, it's going to be like an oil change. Every 3 to 6 months, you come and see me. I mean, in Europe, they use this in Europe a lot
Of course they do.
because they don't make money off of ill people there. So I actually have a nurse that's from Bulgaria or Bolivia, sorry. And she's like, oh, yeah, I see a biofeedback specialist every time I go back.
Amazing. And you're like, well, and now you can come see
Now
me.
you can come see me. She actually is
Yay!
in a couple of weeks. So
Oh my gosh. Well, Amanda, first of all, I've known you my whole life. I love you with all my heart. And thank you so much for your yes and bringing all of your knowledge and your wisdom and your strength and your gifts and your presence on my 50th birthday. It's a little bit of a Leo rising. Thank you so much. Don't hang up. Stay backstage, and everybody reach out to Amanda for a
yeah,
session.
do.
I'm telling you, you got to do it. You got to do it. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in for Who Are You? Who,
Hoo, hoo, hoo,
who?
hoo.
No, 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 no. We love you. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.